Hi, everyone. A warm welcome from Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll wait a few seconds for folks to join. We're so excited to have this be our first webinar inside IU Global Indy of the spring 2026 semester. As we're waiting for folks to join, please feel free to use the chat window. Let us know where you are listening in from. Let us know what you plan to study at IU Indianapolis. We're excited to hear from you. Just a few housekeeping reminders as we kick things off. Our goal today is to connect with students planning to apply to the Honors College here at Indiana University, Indianapolis. We're really grateful to collaborate with our partners at the Honors College today, and we're looking forward to making this an engaging conversation. So please use the chat box. Let us know what questions you have during the conversation and during the Q&A time at the end of the call. Also remember, we're always here to support. So you can reach out at any time to iapply@iu.edu to stay connected with the international admissions team and other key stakeholders on our campus. We know that we have a lot of students, very talented students applying who are interested and qualified for the Honors College. And so today is our chance to share a little bit more in depth about the application steps and help you prepare and feel confident as you move forward. So with that, we'll let folks continue to join, but kick things off. I'd like to start out by saying thank you. Margaret Miley serves as the Director of Admissions and Scholarships at the Honors College, and it's our great pleasure to welcome you. Thanks so much for collaborating with the Office of International Admissions today. We are excited to hear more of your perspective and suggestions and guidance. And so with that, I'll do. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Leslie. Good morning, everybody. As Leslie said, my name is Margaret Miley. I'm the Director of Admission and Scholarships for the Honors College here at Indiana University, Indianapolis. I have been with IU in some way, shape, or form for a quarter of a century now, but I've specifically been on the Indianapolis campus and with the Honors College since 2017. Honors at Indianapolis is an interesting place. You may be looking at other state universities, large research universities in the United States, and see information about their honors programs. And a lot of times they're very large. The Honors College at IU Indianapolis is extremely small. We're a small community inside of the larger university, and we're comprised of students from every major and school. In the Honors College, you'll be seeing students that are studying in the Letty School of Informatics and Computing, sitting next to students studying from the Heron School of Art and Design, or students studying in the Kelley School of Business or the School of Science. And everyone works together and collaborates within honors. We do not award degrees. No one majors in the Honors College. Instead, we award an honors notation. So if you are admitted to the Honors College and pursue our notation, you would be graduating from IU Indianapolis with honors. So for instance, if you are studying business, your degree would read a Bachelor of Science from the Indiana University Kelley School of Business with honors, if that clarifies things. Again, we're open to students from all majors and all programs. We do admittedly have lots of students in math and science or in business, but we have plenty of artists and students studying within the School of Liberal Arts as well. So please don't feel that we're looking for any specific field of study. Rather, we're looking for students who are interested and committed to pursuing that honors notation. As I said before, the Honors College is a small community in the greater Indiana University, Indianapolis. Our students are taking honors classes, usually one honors class a semester, in order to earn their honors notation at the end of 4 years. And we'll talk a little bit more about those honors classes soon. But what I do want to say is that honors classes are only open to honors students. So it's a great way to know that you'll have some classes that are a little bit smaller and more personalized. We have honors classes, of course, the curriculum. If you are, for instance, a biology major, you'll see that the first class that's required by the biology department for students majoring in biology will have one section of it reserved for honors students only. And by signing up for that section, you'll get credit toward your major in biology and credit for honors that semester. Essentially cross-counting one class for two requirements. The honors notation is 24 credit hours. And just to clarify, that 24 credit hour notation should sit within your 120 credit hour undergraduate degree, not on top of it. So if you are, you should be planning for 4 years of undergraduate study. Those 24 credit hours will be part of the coursework that you're already taken and should, again, cross count with things that you would be taking anyway, not something extra that we want you sitting on top or paying extra or staying here longer. This should neatly complement what coursework you are already pursuing. Let's see, just to speak a little bit about our courses and our options, I've already mentioned that there are honors courses across the curriculum in many different areas of study. But then we also have an option that's quite unique called the honors contract. Honors contracts are where students are able to sign up for any class on the IUI campus and then work with a faculty member to create some sort of additional project, perhaps an additional research paper, perhaps a presentation, perhaps some sort of time in the professor's research lab, something to make that class an honors class. So you work independently with a faculty member to create a unique honors experience for any class on the IUI curriculum. And that way you can earn your honors credit for that semester, plus be enrolled in the class that you were otherwise really excited about that otherwise was not an honors class. What I like about this is it's very similar to an undergraduate thesis. It's a personal experience with a faculty member, and you can do it multiple times. So a lot of times in undergrad, you'll see that there might be one opportunity to work independently with a faculty member. We have students that are doing it 4, 5, 6 times during their undergraduate career. And that, at the end of these 4 years, is fabulous for your resume or CV and the next step. You can list all of these experiences as independent research experiences or some sort of personalized experience during your undergrad curriculum. I think it's one of the neatest things that we have going for us at the Honors College. Another thing that's very unique is that we have we have other independent ways to be receiving credit, such as our study abroad program. The Honors College has a program that we offer each spring break in Panama. So if you sign up for our Panama program, you would be receiving your honors credit for that semester. And then we also have an independent study program for any study abroad program, where should you be studying abroad with a different IU program, not our specific honors program, but any on the curriculum, and you work with our study abroad advisor, we can create some sort of independent project while you are abroad so that you can receive honors credit for that study abroad experience as well. Finally, the last way to earn honors credit as an undergraduate student would be to take a graduate level class. I have to stress that I do not recommend doing that until you are at least a junior, more likely a senior in your 4th year. But should you take a graduate level class as an undergraduate student, you would be receiving honors credit for that class automatically. So 24 credit hours of honors credit equals, presuming that these are 3 credit hour classes, equals 8 honors classes or 1 honors class or credit each semester. We don't want you to be spending your entire undergraduate career only worried about honors. Again, it's something that's going to seamlessly fit into your curriculum otherwise. That gives you a little bit of an idea of what's required to earn our honors notation. Our community is one that I think is usually pretty interesting to students as well. As I said, we are a scaled down version of the greater university, so you will see clubs and organizations within the Honors College, such as Student Council or the Adventure Club or Academics for Civic Engagement, Arts and Culture Society. And then you'll also see a housing option for honors students. I know as international students, there's a separate housing option for you as well already. But if you're interested and you're admitted to the Honors College, you will be eligible to live in honors housing. For freshmen, that's in University Tower. I don't know if you've seen a map of campus yet or studied exactly what campus looks like, but University Tower is a former hotel in the middle of campus that's been converted to residence halls. You would have a bathroom in your room since it's a hotel room or a former hotel room, and you'd be paired with 2 other students. That building is for freshmen only. Our sophomores, juniors, and seniors still have an opportunity for honors housing, but in what we call the Riverwalk apartments. Those are on the west border of campus. They're fairly new, and they're townhome style housing where you'd have more space with a kitchenette, separate living area, and then once again, private bedrooms and bathrooms. So that's for our upperclassmen, but freshmen have University Tower available to them. In addition to that, and this is where everybody gets very excited, the main reason the Honors College is so small is because when students are admitted to the Honors College on the Indianapolis campus, they are automatically awarded a scholarship. To my knowledge, we are the only honors college that has this program. That doesn't mean that you would not have scholarship opportunities at other honors colleges at other universities, but I can say if you are selected for admission to honors at Indiana University, Indianapolis, the Indianapolis campus only, you would be receiving a scholarship. For international students, the base scholarship is our Chancellor's Scholarship, which is $19,000 a year currently. That would total to $76,000 over 4 years. So if admitted, you know you would be receiving the Chancellor's Scholarship. We also have 2 additional scholarship opportunities, our Plater Scholarship and our BEPCO Scholarship for international students, and I'll talk in a little bit more detail about those here in a minute. But when applying for admission, you're automatically applying for that Chancellor's Scholarship. The application is one and the same. Our application deadline is March 1st. You still have plenty of time. I also want to state that the application deadline for domestic students is earlier. So if you're poking around on the website, you'll see information that shares dates such as November 15th and February 1st. As international students, you can completely draw a black line through those and close those out. No worries about that whatsoever. March 1st is your deadline for all scholarships. Our application can be accessed through the IU Navigator portal. And Leslie, would you like to pull this up? So here, this is an idea of what this view would look like. You'll see where it says honors program information. And then if you're eligible to apply for honors, it will already highlight it for you on this page, where if you see at the bottom, it says you are eligible to apply to the Honors College. If eligible, that will automatically highlight for you. Okay, thank you, Leslie. So eligibility, and I'm sorry, my cat just jumped on my lap. I'm working from home today. So this is Maisie. She's joining our webinar. If eligibility to honors is determined by 3 things. The first is your GPA. We're looking for a converted GPA to an American scale of a 3.75 or above weighted. I understand that your high school may work on a different grading scale or system, but if you have a conversion calculator to an American system, you should be able to roughly gauge whether or not you hit that 3.75 minimum GPA. Keep in mind, this is to apply and to be eligible to apply. It's not to be admitted. Second is you have to be pursuing a 4-year degree. This affects very few students, but there are a couple of programs on the IUI campus that are 2-year degree programs, especially in health professions such as radiography. If you choose a 2-year program, you are not eligible to join the Honors College. So I should make that very clear. Again, this is rare, but something to highlight just in case. The third requirement is you must be starting in the fall semester. So this would be for fall of 2026 applicants only. The way that financial aid and scholarships work is they can only be awarded on an academic year timeframe, fall, spring, and they all must start in the fall. So if you had ideas about how you wanted to start in the summer, quickly reach out to the Office of International Admissions and update that term to a fall start so that you can be eligible to apply for the Honors College. Finally, and this is a big one, is we only accept beginning freshmen. Now, if you have some credit tied to a college or university, but you are still a high school student, meaning dual credit that you have taken both for high school and for college, that's okay. But if you have been enrolled in a university or a college and taken and completed coursework after graduating from high school, you will be considered a transfer student. And transfer students are not eligible for admission to the Honors College as incoming freshmen. Okay. So this application process does not apply to our transfer students. There may be some confusion or some need for clarification there, but we are happy to assist if you need to help figure out whether you're a new beginner or a transfer student. Okay. Those are the 4 qualifications for eligibility to apply. And from there, we can talk a little bit about the actual application and what it is that we're looking for. Once again, I want to stress that this application is due on March 1st, so you have plenty of time. If you have not finalized your admission materials to IU Indianapolis, that's the first step, no matter what. Leslie, may I ask, should this call only be people that have been admitted, or are there people that are still in the process of applying?
Oh, Maggie, great question. And that's, yeah, I've just dropped a few reminders in the chat. So we did invite students who are in process, have applied to IU Indianapolis. And, for those on the call today and those listening in the future, you may not quite yet have received your admissions decision to IU Indianapolis, and that's okay. We're looking really at the date you applied. We have all of that in our system. So if you have not received your admission letter yet, no worries. Once that is available, that's when the Honors College piece will appear in your IU navigation portal, and you'll be able to apply from there. So we have a wide audience, but really tailoring this to folks who are going to be planning to apply to the Honors College.
And with that in mind, Leslie, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in 1 second. And students, I'm going to show you why you really don't need to worry if your application material is complete, but you haven't received that letter of admission just yet. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, thanks. Okay. So I'll look for that and pull it up.
Here we go.
Excellent.
Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay, so just to backtrack quickly, this is what the Honors College website looks like from the homepage. And if you click on admissions and scroll to prospective freshmen, this page gives you all of the information about our application process. But one thing that I want to stress, and we'll cover all of this, but I want to stress right here, we have the application checklist on our website. Just scroll to the bottom. And we'll talk about each of these materials, but our essay prompts are already on the website. So even if you can't access our application just yet because you have not yet been formally admitted to IUI, you can begin working on all of the materials for your application. So I just want to stress, having your admission materials into the university is the first step if you haven't done so. But if your materials are in and you simply haven't heard back from the university yet, you're still in great shape. You can get started on your application now if you choose to do so. And once again, you have until March 1st to complete this application. So plenty of time. Now, this, as I said, is our page that will walk you through the application process. Once you're in your IU Navigator portal, it will make much more sense. But this helps you get some things ready. We're looking for a few things for application for admission in the Chancellor's Scholarship. The first is your high school transcript, and we'll take that directly from the Office of International Admissions. You do not need to send that to us separately. So no worries there. That's something we take from your application for admission. Next, we'll ask for a scholarship resume, which we'll talk about in more detail here in a moment. And then we'll ask for an essay. I already showed you that the topics live here on our website, so you can begin working on that now. And finally, we'll ask for a sample of academic work, and I'll talk about that here in just a moment too. Everyone applying to the Honors College is automatically applying for the Chancellor's Scholarship. And as I said, the Chancellor's Scholarship for non-residents is $19,000 annually for 4 years, or $76,000. We also award up to a $2,500 study abroad stipend. So should you choose to study abroad, and I hope you choose to do so, you can be receiving an additional $2,500 to go toward expenses tied to study abroad. Next, and this is where things get confusing, we have a few additional scholarship opportunities, but students will only receive one of our scholarships. When applying for admission, you're automatically applying for the Chancellor's Scholarship, as I mentioned, but you'll have the opportunity to additionally apply for the BEPCO or the Plater Scholarship. There's mention of a presidential scholarship here, but that is exclusive to Indiana residents, so you do not need to worry about that one. The BEPCO and the Plater Scholarship are open to international students, but we have very few to give, usually only one. So they are extremely competitive. That said, I highly recommend that you consider it and look into applying. The BEPCO Scholars and Fellows Program is awarded to students with a commitment to service and civic engagement. So if you've been very involved in helping make the world a better place, you should think about applying for the BEPCO Scholarship. The BEPCO Scholarship covers full undergraduate tuition for 4 years, plus fees. It will also cover books for 4 years of study, and your first 2 years of on-campus housing are included with the BEPCO Scholarship, though you're required to live in our honors residential community. Usually one international student will be selected for the BEPCO Scholarship, as I said before. So this is an extremely competitive program, but obviously financially very, very, very worth it. Second, the Plater International Scholars Program. This has the incorrect dollar amount here because it's listed for our domestic students, but we will award the Plater International Scholarship to one international student, and that will be $27,000 per year for 4 years for an international student. When you click to the link of the Office of of OIA, Office of International Admissions, you'll see a little bit more information about scholarships in general for international students, but you'll see that $27,000 for the Plater International Scholarship listed here. Okay, and again, we select one student for the Plater Scholars Program. Again, as I told you, please ignore these deadlines. Those are for domestic students. Your deadline as an international student is March 1st. To speak a little bit about what we're looking for admission, first of all, we'll be looking at your transcript. And as I said, we'll take that directly from the Office of Admissions. We're looking to see your grades in individual classes, not just your GPA. And we'll be interested in what classes you selected to take. So if you've had lots of advanced coursework, honors coursework, dual credit coursework, that is going to stand out much more than if you have taken the most basic level of courses that you could. We're also going to be looking at letter grades in individual courses or your success in each course that you've taken, especially academic subjects. Next, we'll look for a scholarship resume. I have a very brief listing of categories here of things that you should be thinking about for your scholarship resume. By no means is this meant to be an outline or something of how you should format your resume. It's simply a suggestion of some things to think about. We're interested in knowing what you've been doing for community service, for volunteer work. We're interested in what kinds of leadership experiences you've had. We're looking for what extracurriculars you've been involved with, sports, music, arts, whatever that may be. We're looking for any awards that you've received. If you have been named, I don't know, top student in your science class for this particular year, we'd like to hear about it. We're looking for work experience. If you had a part-time job, we'd like to know about that. Basically, we're interested in how you're spending your time in addition to going to school. And we're also interested in learning a little bit about what your passions are. From there, the more information you can give us, the better. So if you have been actively involved in volunteering with an organization that helps provide food for people that are dealing with hunger every Sunday for the last 3 years, please tell us that you have spent 2 hours every Sunday for the last 3 years passing out food, these sorts of things. So we have a little bit more information about the time commitment involved in your activities will be very helpful. That resume can be 1 page, it can be 2 pages, it doesn't matter. We have certain students that have quite a bit that they want to share, and please go ahead and feel free to share it. Next, I mentioned the sample of academic work. Just a little bit of a backstory. When I first started working with the Honors College, we had minimum SAT or ACT scores in order to be considered for admission. And then when the university went test optional and stopped requiring students to provide standardized test scores, our dean said that she was no longer going to look at test scores at all. So we weren't only going to go test optional, we in the Honors College were going to go completely test blind. So you can have a perfect score on the SAT and my office will never know. Instead, we're asking for a sample of academic work. This should be something you've already done. Most of the time, students will select a paper that they have written for a class that they're particularly proud of. So look through the files on your computer of something that you've submitted for an assignment and choose that. I don't want you to start panicking and try to create something new. The best examples or the best samples of academic work are things that took some editing, some time, something that you worked on for an extended period of time and went home and edited and thought about and changed. We're interested in the process as much as we are the final product. Papers, again, are by far and away the most common submission, but we have received things such as lab reports or very detailed photographs of a poster presentation from a research fair. We've received links to websites or electronic portfolios. We've received video links to presentations that have been delivered. So there are lots of things you can submit, but please note we're not awarding bonus points for creativity. A paper is absolutely acceptable. We simply want something that you feel was college level work that defines that you understand what it will be like to be a student at a university and the kind of work that you'll be doing. Things that you don't want to submit would be group projects, something that's not yours. And anything that you produced in like a single class period or one day, that's probably a bad sample of academic work. We're instead looking for something that took some time and some editing. We'll also ask you to write a brief paragraph explaining why you chose this particular piece of work and why you feel that it's a strong example of your ability and what you can do, your potential to succeed. So think about what it is that you will be telling us about that sample of academic work. Last, as I said before, you'll be asked to write an essay. And once again, that essay topic is right here. So even if you have not yet been admitted to IU Indianapolis, you can start working on your entrance essay for the Honors College. Okay, now, if you're interested in applying for the BEPCO or Plater scholarships, or both, you can apply for both. You'll first need to complete everything that we talked about above, the admission to the Honors College and Chancellor's Scholarship application, okay? Only students that are deemed eligible for admission to the Honors College will be eligible for the BEPCO or the Plater scholarships. So you must do everything up here first, okay? Now, the BEPCO and the Plater scholarship both require an additional essay. You'll find the essay prompt, once again, right here on our website. Next, we say a scholarship resume, but what we're interested in is not that you submit a separate resume, but rather when we look at your scholarship resume as it was submitted up here, we see experience relative to the BEPCO scholarship. So again, volunteer work, community service, civic engagement, things that show us that you're a good candidate for the BEPCO scholarship. Third, we'll ask for a letter of recommendation. That letter of recommendation is not something that you produce for us by asking someone for a letter and then submitting it, but rather we'll ask you to give us the name and email address of your recommender, and we'll work with them directly. Again, this says November 15th because that's the deadline for our domestic students. March 1st will be your deadline as an international student, okay? For the Plater scholarship, we're looking for the same things, but once again, you'll have a different essay prompt right here. And once again, this all lives on our website, so you can look at it later. We'll be looking for evidence on your resume that suggests that you are committed to international issues. And this would be something outside of your own country. Obviously, as international students, you're committed to issues that are not relative to the United States, but we're interested to see that you are interested in international cultures other than your own. And then finally, we'll once again ask for a letter of recommendation. And once again, we'll ask for that by asking for the name of your recommender and their email address. So if you are applying for all three, meaning you're applying for admission to the Honors College, plus the BEPCO and the Plater scholarships, you would be writing a total of 3 essays, and you would be providing us with 2 recommenders for letters of recommendation. Okay. That is a quick overview of our admission process and our application process and what we're looking for in the materials. It's also quite a bit of information, I know. At this point, I think we can take questions if anyone has any.
Fantastic. So if you have any questions or would like to share a little bit more, if something comes to mind, please drop that in the chat. I'll keep an eye out for questions to come through. I'd also like to plug that we have a wonderful team of international student ambassadors working with us in the International Admissions Office, including a first-year freshman student who is an honors college student. And so if you have any interest in reaching out to hear that student perspective, connect with us. Please email us at iapply@iu.edu, and we can help connect you to some of the students on our campus going through that first year experience as an honors college student. So I know that I have seen a few students introducing themselves in the chat. Hi, Emmanuel, glad you can join us today. Hi, Simone, it's great to have you on the call. Thanks so much. Let us know if you have any questions in the chat. And I think I see a question dropped in our live stream on YouTube. Could you share a little bit more about that first year experience for honors college students? They are specifically wondering about the housing option you mentioned. But what would that community look like?
Sure. So the Honors Residence community, as I said, is located in University Tower. And University Tower is a large residence hall, being a former hotel. It's 9 stories tall. As far as what the community looks like, you'll find certain classes, honors classes, that are open specifically to students that are living on floors 7 and 8, the honors floors of University Tower. Most notably, our H200 course, or Introduction to Honors. So not only would you have courses only with other honors students, but you would have a course specifically with students that are your neighbors in housing. What's nice about University Tower, this is University Tower as a building, not specifically the Honors College, is that it's new, it's air conditioned, it's very comfortable. The dining facilities are on the first floor. So you don't even have to go outside in order to go downstairs and have your breakfast. And then we also have skywalks and bridges from University Tower that connect you to a good chunk of campus, including the library, which is where the Honors College is located. The housing is not required, it's an option. I'd say probably half of the Honors College incoming class will choose to live in honors housing, maybe not quite that. I think it's a wonderful place to live, but unless you're a BEPCO scholar, we will not absolutely require you to live in our honors living learning community. The Honors College space itself in the library is a student lounge space, and you can access that all 4 years, not just your first year. And regardless of whether you're a student in our honors residence community or not, access to the Honors College space has nothing to do with whether you choose to live in our honors residence community or not. That's your choice. There are some other options for housing that may be really interesting to you. Again, I know there's housing specifically for international students. There is, I should say there are lots of other living learning communities that are based around academic areas. So for instance, if you are a budding scientist and want to live with other scientists, and you're interested in speaking with students that have a similar academic interest to you, as opposed to students that are also selected for the Honors College is stronger, that is absolutely fine. We understand if you would like to live on a STEM floor, for instance. So you have lots of options there. I'm always kind of walking a balance beam of trying to plug our honors living learning community without saying, oh, you absolutely have to live there, because the rule is it's an option. It's not a you must. But again, a lot of our students do choose to do so. They like the familiarity of living with other honors students that they are more likely taking courses with and that they're seeing in the honors lounge. And again, just making campus feel a little bit smaller with surrounding themselves with the same group of people. So they're not seeing this, several thousand students campus, but instead seeing roughly 100 students that they become closer to. So if you're longing for kind of that small school feel, but you need the research facilities of a place like IUI, the Honors Living Learning Community is awesome. It's not the only place that can bring the school down to a more personal feeling size, but I think it's a really good one. Hopefully that kind of explained housing a little better.
Yeah, and I fully agree. I think finding your community, especially during that first year as a new student, a new university, a new country, that community becomes so important for a support system. So it's exciting to hear that the Honors College has that wonderful community in place.
And I want to stress, Leslie, while we have the community in place, you're going to find lots of other communities at IUI as well. And
Absolutely.
One of the things that I think Honors does really well is we recognize that students will want to be a part of multiple communities. And so if you're an artist, don't feel like you're going to have to choose between the community of artists and the community of honors scholars. You may have to make a choice regarding housing and who you want to actually live with in the residence halls. But I would hope that you would be taking full advantage of both communities and finding the common ground between the two and making friends in both and socializing with both and participating in the events of both, rather than just feeling like you have to identify yourself only as an honors scholar or only as a scientist or only as a business student. One of the great things about being at a campus that offers so much is that you're able to take advantage of so many different communities and different events and different different really cool things that are going on.
Absolutely. And we love to cheer on the students as they're moving through their experience, especially in that first year. We're cheering for you all from the international office, always. Oh, okay. So I do see a couple of questions coming in. It looks like, to sort of summarize, they're asking about the application.
Yes.
So it seems daunting. It seems like there's a lot of steps. But do you have any more advice or suggestions about how to start, how to
Sure.
break that down into
Sure.
a manageable?
So, what I would say is concentrate on your Chancellor's Scholarship application first, the application for admission. And if you think about it, the only things that should be new for you would be writing that essay, and it's only 400 to 600 words, and putting together your resume. You maybe even have a resume from a class or from a job that you've applied for or something. You might have even provided a resume to a different university when applying. Resumes are something that students sometimes put together. A quick Google search for a sample resume for a high school student should give you some ideas of how different people format that. We're not looking for any specific format, or we understand. I don't mean to say you need to have a very professional resume with a headshot and anything like that. Just simply listing your involvement for us. That's what we're interested in. So, what I'd recommend, since you have over a month, is start making a list of things that you would include on your resume, your extracurriculars, part time work, volunteer work, leadership experiences, basically everything that you have done besides going to school. And then start listing when you did them and the time commitment that was involved in them. And then you can figure out how you want to neatly put that on a piece of paper later, type that up. But just starting that list is a really good place to start. As far as the essay goes, you could start working on that now. I sometimes joke it's a road trip game, but I don't know if people outside of the United States take very many long road trips where they have to figure out how to entertain themselves in the car. But I like to say that anytime that you are seated and just trying to think through something or have some time to talk with somebody who you trust, kind of brainstorming some ideas about what you would like to talk about in that resume or in that essay is a good way to pass some time. Once you finish those two pieces, then you'd be looking only, if you were interested in applying for the BEPCO or the Plater Scholarship, then the only additional material you're really trying to pull out would be one additional essay. So start working on that essay after you finished the essay for the Chancellor's Scholarship. The biggest hint I can give is that we're interested to see that you're aware of what honors is at IU Indianapolis. And by sitting through this webinar, you probably have a pretty good understanding. At least I hope so. I hope I've done a good enough job for that. But we're interested in seeing that you understand that you're applying to the Honors College and that you're looking forward to being a part of our community. We're also interested in your academic background, but that's going to be taken from your transcript more than anything else. So there really is nothing that you can do about that at this time period. We're going to be taking that directly from the Office of Admissions. And then the third thing is if you're applying for those named scholarships, the BEPCO Scholarship or the Plater Scholarship, we're looking to see that you understand the scholarship. And once again, for the BEPCO Scholarship, we're looking for students that have a commitment to civic engagement, to community service, to volunteering. And for the Plater Scholarship, we're looking for students that have a passion for cultures other than their own, for international issues beyond their home. So if you could speak about something that some experience you've had or a passion that you have for something beyond what's closest to you in your immediate community, then that would make you a very good applicant for the Plater Scholarship.
Excellent. Thank you.
Of course.
Let's see. So another question came in, and they're curious about, what again is that first year experience like as an honors college student, it sounds like this student maybe has done a lot of volunteer work in their high school experience. Are there volunteer options,
Sure.
or
So
are there
actually,
events to join?
yes, so quite a few. But I'm glad that you brought up the volunteer options because one of the requirements to keep your scholarship will be to volunteer at least 10 hours per academic year. And we help students find those opportunities. BEPCO scholars are actually required to volunteer 20 hours during each year because the BEPCO scholarship is awarded based on volunteer work. So our BEPCO scholars do have a slightly higher requirement with that.
Mhm.
But we've had students participate in a lot of different ways. The Glenner's Food Bank is a popular option. To make it even closer to home, campus has something called Pause Pantry, which is our on campus food bank for people associated with the IU Indianapolis community that may have some needs. In accessing food. We also have something called Pause Closet, which is similar except for people that may have a shortage of clothing. Um, then we have, let's see, lots of students volunteer at Indianapolis Animal Care and Control. So if animals are a passion, we have some opportunities there. Quite a few opportunities with local schools. Since we're located in downtown Indianapolis, there is no shortage of need for pretty much every community you can imagine. Um, Keep Indianapolis beautiful, planting trees, assisting with multiple types of environmental projects, volunteering at different museums. We are very close to the museum campus of Indianapolis. We have students participate there in many different ways. And then sometimes these opportunities, I will say, separate from the volunteer hour requirement associated with the Honors College, lead to new interests or potentially even internships. We've had lots of students that have gotten very involved with different organizations in town because they've started with this volunteer activity. So we sometimes see these first year experiences of trying out something like that springboard into a really big, cool opportunity associated with something that might even end up being a long term passion or possibly even career.
Mhm.
So lots of areas there. As far as events, you're going to find honors events, but you're also going to find, and those oftentimes are through our honors organizations, such as the Honors Arts and Culture Society, where
Mhm.
there will be things like um, opportunities to go to a play as a group or a musical or something closer to home, just like perhaps everybody getting together and painting pumpkins around Halloween. So there will be things like that. Honors Adventure Club has traditionally gone to a haunted house near Halloween. Sometimes they'll go figure skating. So lots of opportunities there. Student council provides leadership experiences. These are all optional, and we wouldn't expect any student to do all of these events, but they're
Mhm.
there for the taking. Beyond just the social events like that, you're going to see lots of events on campus. And so those, again, are not only honors events, but events from every other organization on campus that you could be participating in. Some of the big ones would be things like, uh, let's see, Jagathon, which is our dance marathon that a lot of students get very involved in to raise money for Riley Children's Hospital, which is on our campus.
Mhm.
So there will be big scale things like that. And then finally, I want to stress that in case you haven't visited campus or looked at a map of campus, our campus is in the middle of downtown Indy. One of the really cool things about our campus is 5% of the jobs of the entire state of Indiana are located within a mile of our campus. Indianapolis is the city in Indiana, and it's the center of state government, so everything associated with government or politics. It's the center of commerce. It's the medical center of the state by far. We have 5 very large hospitals on campus. Um, you name it, it's located right there. So everything related to public affairs, to business, to medicine, to education, you're going to see quite a bit really close to campus. But
Mhm.
then also the arts. So if there's something that you're passionate about related to the arts, you're going to see more opportunities right next to our campus than you are basically anywhere else. I personally live less than 2 miles from campus, And I feel like I never really have to leave the little bubble that I live in, except to travel. But I'm not going to the far reaches of Indianapolis. I can stay right near the center of downtown. But the reason I'm sharing all of this is that means your experience and what's available to you and the way that you're going to be spending your time is absolutely unlimited.
Mhm.
You can, from our campus center, literally see orangutans swinging at the zoo. There's a little bit of everything right there. You can see Lucas Oil Stadium where the Indianapolis Colts play. You see the top of the state capitol building. So you're right in the thick of a lot of different opportunities for a lot of different events.
Absolutely. Our
That's a bit of
location
a
is a
rant. I'm
huge,
sorry.
no, no, no. I think you're highlighting what makes IU Indianapolis great. Our location, students can really make the city their campus, and it's a beautiful thing to see. Speaking of, there's another question sort of relating to internships. You had mentioned
Sure.
that. So, does the Honors College provide extra networking opportunities or alumni connections in addition to what's offered um,
Very good
through the
question.
campus overall?
Very good question. And the answer is it depends.
Mhm.
You're going to see some of your honors college activities leading naturally to potential internships, but you're also going to be seeing that quite a bit with some of the activities um, that you have with your regular coursework. So, for instance, if you are a student in the Kelly School of Business, in your honors business courses, I'm guessing that you're going to come across plenty of opportunities for internships that you want to explore and potentially dig deeper into. Um, is that by nature of it being an honors course or by nature of it being a Kelly School of Business course? That's hard to say because, once again, we're kind of one and the same, but it is there. As far as alumni connections, yes, we'll be connecting you to other honors students. But once again, we're also probably going to be looking at connections tied to your program or major. So yes and no, honors is kind of the second layer of that, maybe is a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We are getting closer to the end of our time together today. Thank you so much for sharing all of this important and
Of
helpful
course.
information. A few reminders to everyone listening in. March 1st is the deadline for fall intake. As part of your application steps to IU Indianapolis, we will help to convert from your high school curriculum to the US grading scale. So that is part of our process. But you can always reach out to the international admissions team at iapply@iu.edu. Stay in touch. We're here to help and support. Um, and I do want to just drop the reminder that these scholarships are available for fall intake only. But Maggie, could you please share any last suggestions or ways students can continue to reach out with questions or
Sure.
as they're
Sure.
preparing for that March 1st deadline?
So I just want to say that the reason that I pulled up our website and worked through that was because basically everything I told you came directly from that page. So I wanted to stress that you can go back to that and read all about it in extreme detail at any time. And very quickly, I'll just do this. Sorry for sharing my screen again,
Oh, sure thing.
but um, here we go. Back to our homepage.
Here we go.
You can find me in the staff directory with a very, very, very old picture right here. Um, so if you are looking for me and you lose my contact information from the chat, that's where I am. And you can also read a little bit more about the honors experience and our academics here. So any questions that you have that we did not address today, there's a good chance that you can learn quite a bit at this page as well. The last thing I want to say is just apply. Um, don't feel intimidated. Go ahead, take a chance, put an application in, and see what happens. There's a very good chance that you could be looking at a very nice scholarship. And so this is your opportunity to try. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. If I don't have the answer, I'll direct you to the person who may. I may be just directing you back to Leslie in many cases, but
Teamwork.
that's okay.
All
We
good.
can play ping pong and figure out wherever the answer to your question, whatever it may be. But please don't hesitate to reach out and know that you have a lot of time. So start thinking about it, but you have until March 1st, so don't feel pressured yet. There still is plenty of time to assemble these materials and get your application in.
Absolutely. I want to echo that and just encourage everyone listening to try. Please apply for the Honors College scholarships if you're eligible. They are great opportunities, and we are really excited already to prepare to welcome students for fall 2026 intake. And we hope that some of the international students will have applied and be awarded the BEPCO scholarship, for example. So can't wait to see you all on campus very soon. And as we wrap up, I just wanted to extend a very big thank you again for sharing all of the information today. We're so grateful to partner with you and the wonderful folks at Honors College, again, to support the international students applying to IU Indianapolis. And thanks everyone for joining us today. Keep an eye out and follow us on our socials for information about upcoming webinars. Stay connected and can't wait to hear from you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.